the today's session, the main host that will be joining soon, I think he is Shivam sir. Okay, he is a pass out of MA NIT. He has done his BTech and MTech from MA NIT. Okay, he is working in BEML, which is a public sector undertaking unit. Okay, and he's also currently doing PhD from IIT Indore. So that's great. Okay. He has organized many of the text Spurti session at IIT Kanpur as well. Right. Okay, so sir, I think you can start the DYS session now.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Let me correct you first. Actually, my name is Shivam Singh. Shivam Tiwari is another member of Inspire. He will be giving you next device number 2. And I have done my BTech MTech from NIT Bhopal. Now I'm pursuing PhD from IIT Indore. So I'm very glad to be with all of you discussing today's first session, the first session of our device Discover Yourself sessions. And I'll be sharing some important things out of that. And at the last, we'll be discussing something from today's session. So I want active participation from all of you. So be active with your chat. I'll be asking some questions in between, and like we all are, especially from engineering background, so we are technical students. So I'll be asking some questions and which we have heard or which we have seen in our day-to-day life or during our preparation when we are preparing for IIT or JEE. Maximum of you would have prepared for that. So we'll be discussing something relevant to that also. So actually today's device will not be discussing so many technical things. If you are expecting that, we are going to actually analyze our world, ourselves, and how we are like like before Newton also so many apples have fallen down. But why we read the story of एप्पल फॉलिंग डाउन विच न्यूटन हैज ऑब्जर्व्ड, है ना. न्यूटन से पहले भी कई लोगों ने देखा होगा ना कि एप्पल नीचे गिर रहा है, लेकिन हम अपने डे टू डे लाइफ में, अपने कॉलेज लाइफ में, स्कूल लाइफ में हम न्यूटन के एप्पल गिरने की कहानी क्यों सुनते हैं. ही हैज ऑब्जर्व समथिंग, है ना, समथिंग डिफरेंट, है ना. सेम थिंग वाज हैपनिंग बट he tries to find out the reasoning behind that, and he tries to make some assessment out of it. So this is the thing. So today also we are going to do the same things here in our today's session. So let me share my presentation and then we'll be having very interactive session. So be ready with your chat box, है ना. Today we are going to discuss mastermind behind this mysterious universe. So you won't be having some doubts in your mind, है ना, which mastermind we are talking about, and we'll be discussing that also in a few minutes. So Pratyush, be ready with your internet. I'll be asking something, है ना, with you. I'll be discussing something, है na, with you, whether my PPT is visible or whether the audio or video are properly functioning or not. So okay, so now I'm going to start our today's session. So mastermind behind the mysterious universe. Mastermind behind this mysterious universe. We are running short of time, so I'll be moving a bit faster. So I was telling that we have divided our session in 5 categories. What we observe in our day-to-day life, your observation, what scientist has observed, scientific observation. Then we'll be having a $2 million question. So be ready with that, $2 million if you want. So come to at least this platform, and then we'll be having one activity as well. And then of the conclusion of the session. So coming to our first point, your observation. So in your observation, we'll be discussing some points, and basically I have categorized that in A, B, C, D, E. And A, B, C is primary knowledge or basic knowledge in whatever field. And so A, B, C we'll be discussing today. What is that ABC? Who creates and maintains this beautiful harmonious universe? So what we have observed till now, A, B, C, D, E is what basically A for artistry, artist, B for beautiful organization, C for creation, D for design, E for energy, and F for flawless law. So we will be discussing about all these things in our observation, what we are observing in all these three, in all these aspects. So artistry, see, many of you might be aware with all these paintings. Can you name in your chat box the first one? What is the name of that painting? The very famous painting, Leonardo da Vinci. Yeah, Mona Lisa. Many of you have wrote. Yeah, Ayush, Pushpendra, Shaurabh. Yeah, so these are paintings, and when we see any of the paintings, we definitely think of, oh, who had made that painting, you know? Someone has made that painting, and any interesting painting we see. So see, there are so many paintings, and when we see beautiful mountain, rivers, and all, and beautiful flowers, we get attracted and to all these things. But we definitely we think of the one who has made that, and जिसने भी बनाया उसके बारे में भी हमारा तुरंत thought जाता है. But see, when we see in nature, है ना, the fountains and the river falls and some things, and that is also very attracting. But many of us, we won't think, है ना, कि किसने ये सब arrange किया होगा, or it has, है ना, came by chance only, or someone has designed it or something. And this is also like a natural painting, है ना. Some artificially also people they make it, and we think of that who has made that, but in natural paintings we never think of that. So see, let us take an example of a flower, and definitely flowers are very attractive to all of us, and nowadays it is in demand, and because Valentine weeks is going on. So see, when we see this beautiful lotus flower, and it's very attractive to us, and the flowers, they have very beautiful fragrance also. But we never think of that who has designed that or who has made that. But think, if you want to prepare such kind of flower, what accessories you might be needing, you need paper, you need gum, you need scissor, and you have thought also, to make it in a proper way, so that you can make it attractive a bit. Okay, so to make an artificial rose, you need so many things. So what to think of making a natural flower, which is very attractive in comparison to this. And if you want to add fragrance in this also, then also you have to add externally. But in flower, definitely you get that fragrance, and which is very attracting to all of us, and that is also, so some who is putting all these things together in a very beautiful or in a very arranged manner. So whenever we see any artistry, what we think of artist, है ना? So who has made that? Who is mastermind behind that artistry? When whatever type of artistry we see, whether it's if we can think of in a human-made or man-made artistry, then in natural, whatever artistry we are seeing, then definitely, there would be some mastermind behind that also, because that cannot come, by chance only. So, and then coming to the next, beautiful organization. So see, there are so many beautiful organizations around the nature, and that is very attracting as well. So is my voice lagging?
No, sir, I don't think your voice is lagging.
Yeah. So because he might be having some internet problems.
Yeah,
So,
Ayush, please check your internet once, okay?
okay,
Yes,
so
sir, please continue.
coming to our session. So see, I will share actually, because we are running short of time, so I won't be discussing so many videos, but at least some interesting videos I will be discussing. So are you able to see the screen, Pratyush?
Yeah, sir, it's visible
Yeah,
and
so
audible too.
mathematician is spider, you might have heard so many mathematicians, but
Compared to their own
mathematician is
sizes,
spider.
spiders
So
build
here
very
very
large
attentive.
webs. Indeed, if we enlarged a spider to the size of a human being, the length of the web it weaves would be approximately 150 meters, which corresponds to a 50-story skyscraper. Is it possible for a human being to weave a lacework the size of a 50-story skyscraper in only an hour? But a tiny spider accomplishes much more than that. Moreover, the spider-woven web is the sturdiest material in the world. How do spiders weave these webs possessing miraculous features? The spider takes into consideration many factors while weaving a web hundreds of times larger than its own size. This task demands at least some calculations essential in constructing a building. For the accomplishment of this work, first the spider must draw a project like an architect, for a construction of this size, design, and sturdiness cannot be accomplished without an architectural project. Once the project is drawn, the spider must calculate the lifting capacity of each part of the web like an engineer, otherwise the web cannot remain suspended. In order to design such a web and make such delicate calculations, the spider must be more qualified than a college graduate. Indeed, there is not a university that provides education to the offspring. Following their birth, they begin to produce silk, weave web.
So see, we talked about this mathematician spider. So no, अगर हम लोगों को अगर ये डिजाइन करने को दिया जाए, like I'm a civil engineer, so we design lot of building structures, bridges. So we need to do lots of calculation, and we need a group of architecture and group of engineers who do all these things. But a spider, who is supplying that intelligence to the spider? है ना, उसमें आपको एक एक पे बेंडिंग, एक एक पे आपको जो टेंसाइल फोर्स है, यू हैव टू थिंक ऑफ, है ना, तभी वो एक प्रॉपर्ली एक अरेंज्ड मैनर में एक उसमें रह सकता है. सो बट स्पाइडर इज डूइंग ऑल दिस थिंग्स, है ना, बट वी कैनॉट इवन थिंक ऑफ, वी कैनॉट इवन इमेजिन how much calculation he might have done if we think of an engineering point of view. So see, there are so many things like that. So we should think, है ना, हमें सोचना चाहिए कि who is giving, who is supplying that intelligence to that spider. There are so many beautiful organizations like that. So like cocoons, and so whenever we see any organizations, we see the organizer as well, है ना. Definitely we think of that organizer as well, and that who has arranged that, and the organization. So it won't come, है ना, कि ये ऐसे ही हो गया होगा, है ना. Someone has done that, है ना, someone has analyzed that, and someone has made that. And coming to the next, designing. Okay, so we see, whenever you see a car, what do you think? ये कार अपने से डिजाइन हो गया? Someone would have manufactured it, है ना. Ford की है, Lamborghini है, whatever, है ना. Many of us, है ना, we are very fond of, है ना, so many sleek cars, है ना. So definitely, whenever we see, the next thought is someone would have manufactured it, and the company or the person and the owner of that, and these trendy computers, someone would have assembled it. It won't have come in a in this form, and by its own. So elegant watches, and Eiffel Towers, and someone would have erected it, someone have designed it properly. It won't have come by its own, and अपने से तो नहीं आ गया होगा, किसी ने तो बनाया होगा, खड़ा किया होगा. And these things are very attractive to all of us, and so whenever we see this, and twin towers, and wonderful sculptures. So if we think all these things that someone would have created it, and we think of the engineers or the engineering as well, and engineering aspect of that, so then definitely, and this universe as well, and shouldn't this universe have a super intelligent creator too? How complex this universe is, we are going to discuss in further further slides as well, you know? Like how complex it is and how designed it is. See, like this example. So whenever we see any creation, we think of the creator as well, and it won't have come by its chance. Then coming to the D, design. So see, design. Or can you say what is the size of the seed? And I have given you the scale as well. Mention in the chat. If you can think of, you can imagine of, this is a centimeter mm scale. Anyone? Write in the chat. Yeah, 1 centimeter. Sweta Singh. Yeah, anyone else? 1 centimeter, 1.5 centimeter. So see, 1.5 centimeter. See, the size of seed is around 1 to 1.5 centimeter. But what it has in it, इसके अंदर क्या है? You know, ये seed किसका है? सीट के अंदर क्या है? ये सीट के अंदर ये है, this tree, the huge tree, है ना, the sequoia tree. So can you imagine of the dia of this tree or the length of this tree? कोई idea होगा आप लोगों को? Let me show you the slide. See, the vehicles are coming out of this tree. है ना, how huge this tree is. So in a seed of 1.5 centimeter, this huge tree has been saved by someone. So who has designed that? And within that seed, someone has put this much huge tree, and in particular situation, in particular circumstances, and it has came out. So it's a world's largest tree, and a sequoia tree. So some comparison has been given, and in the PPT, and that how big this giant sequoia tree is, and even the Statue of Liberty is not that tall, and that this tree is. So see, we are very amazed of when we think of these microchips, that this much chip has this TB of data. So and sometimes we think itna GB, itna TB ka data hum log chip mein carry kar rahe hain. But have you ever think of your brain? What Dr. Richard say? He says the human brain can store more information than all the libraries in the world, and not in a single library, is all the libraries in the world. The knowledge can be stored in a single brain. So see, if we may be amazed of thinking about that microchip, so that someone who have made it, someone who have created or have the idea of that. But have you ever thought of that who is the mastermind behind making such kind of brain which can store all the information which we have in all the libraries around the globe? So let's go down to the micro world as well. And our DNA, they store our information, and in each single cell, if you go into details, and there are so many deep arrangements, and that are not very random. ऐसा नहीं कि randomly कोई भी जो proteins हैं वो randomly हैं या मतलब randomly arranged है ना, like the arrangement of these adenine, thymine, cytosine, guanine within the DNA structures. So all these things are not random, these things are very perfect and very perfectly arranged. So someone would have done it, agar randomly hota, then it won't have in a very particular or in a very arranged way. ऐसा नहीं कि अपने arrange particular arranged way में रहता. So many complex structures are there, within a cell, and we have trillions of cells in a body, and if you talk about a single cell, so that also has a particular proper arrangement in it, and so many things inside that in a properly arranged way. So okay, can you write how many Brevis lattice structures you have studied in your 11th 12th physical chemistry, है ना, किसने पढ़ा है? How many types of Brevis lattice structure we have? Anyone? Okay, if you have information, please. 14, yeah, Anush Deshpande, 14. Okay, so we have 14 types of Brevis lattice structures. What are those? Body centered, simple, cubic. So like this, these are total 14 type of Brevis lattice structure. So see, from the very small piece of stone to the galaxies, and they can be arranged in these 4 categories only. The basic subunit and of all these things can be subdivided in all these 14 categories. So nothing is very random, nothing is random. All things are very, very designed in a very minute manner, in a proper manner, and we cannot say that all these things come into random some process and something, and someone has designed it very in a very intelligent manner. Okay, so see the structure within the graphite, if you slightly changed the arrangement of all these units from graphite, so from graphite what happens, slight molecular change can give change from graphite to diamond. So this much structural correlation has all these all these elements within this world. So nothing is very random, and everything has been designed in a proper manner. So coming to the macro world as well, all these solar systems, solar satellites and planets, galaxies, everything has been arranged in a proper way with the force of gravitation and electromagnetic fields and everything, and the rotation, the arrangement and how it is rotating in between, and the length of the axis as well. So everything, even the tilt of that, that need someone who's very intelligent, who's designing all these things. Don't you think that there is a need of intelligence for making such a complex structure? Like if we talk about even our Earth, so it has been tilted because of that. We are getting seasonal changes, and it is rotating and within the axis. So because of that, and we are getting days and nights, and so all these things. Don't you think that someone would have designed it a very perfect manner, in a very perfect manner, in a very perfect way? And the water cycles and everything, and that the water has been stored in a oceans with added salts, and we cannot directly consume it, but because of the water cycle, it is being distributed all over the globe. So who has made all these cycles? Who has made all these arrangements, carbon cycles, oxygen cycles, everything? So you should think of that someone, there is a need of someone, some designer, an intelligent designer who has designed all these things. So this video is also very important. I discuss, and generally whatever we do, and if we are very good in painting, so what we do when we make painting, we mark our sign also, and in that painting, and so that I can claim, so this painting has been made by me, and copyright. So this video is very interesting, and this video about Fibonacci series. So please watch this video very, very attentively.
Around 1200 AD, a man named Leonard Pisano, better known as Fibonacci, discovered a sequence of numbers that created a very interesting pattern. The sequence begins with the numbers 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, and continues indefinitely. Each number is obtained by adding the last two digits together. A rectangle with a length and width of any two of the numbers of this sequence forms what is known as the golden rectangle, a perfect rectangle. A golden rectangle can be broken down into squares the size of the next Fibonacci numbers down and below. If we were to take a perfect or golden rectangle, break it down into smaller squares based on Fibonacci's sequence, and divide each with an arc, the patterns begin to take shape. We begin to see Fibonacci's spiral. The spiral in and of itself is insignificant. Its importance is revealed in where we find it. Take, for example, the sunflower. The display of its florets are in perfect spirals of 55, 34, and 21, the sequence of Fibonacci. The fruitlets of the pineapple create the same spiral based on the sequence. The pine cone does the same. As currents move through the ocean and the tide rolls onto the shore, the waves that bring in the tide curve into a spiral that can be mathematically diagrammed onto a plot at the points 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, and 55. Buds on trees, sand dollars, starfish, petals on flowers, and especially the nautilus shell are formed with this exact same blueprint. With each segment of growth, the nautilus adds to itself one more value on Fibonacci's scale. This blueprint can be seen around us on a small scale every day, but the greatest example of all is directly above our heads. At an average of 100,000 light years across, even the spiral of the galaxies above us are formed with the exact design that the tiny shell is formed. This sequence or blueprint appears to be the trademark of a designer, a proof of a creator, something left behind indicating the one who was there, a fingerprint. As we scan our universe from the tiny flower to the awe-inspiring galaxy, we see the fingerprint of God.
So see, from the tiny flowers from the tiny flowers to the arrangement of galaxies, in a spiral, galaxy spiral, and we see this Fibonacci curve. So can you write down, please, the examples which we have seen in this video, and which represents this Fibonacci curve, please write down the examples which we have seen. Yeah, starfish, ear. So from this video, we can clearly identify that someone common person, and someone, the only person who, the mastermind, the designer, who has made all these things, and he has left his fingerprints as well. And how interesting it is, you might have felt very interestingly, this video is very, I found it very interesting, to know when I saw all these things, it's really very interesting that someone who is making all these things, we might be thinking of is leaving his fingerprints as well in all these things, from the arrangement of the galaxies down to the minute flowers as well. So from here we can understand that there is common creator of all these things, and the mastermind behind designing all such things. Yeah, so many of you have written so many things. Thank you. We may be amazed, we that so many people, the group of scientists have been designing big satellites as well, and there is a lot of use from for remote sensing and GIS purposes, and these satellites are very important, playing very important role. So many scientists that are doing research, because I'm coming from research background, so I know the importance of satellites in research, we need lots of satellite data as well. So we get to know, when we get to know all these things, amazing things, we think, oh, so the people, they are very intelligent, that who have made all such arrangements, and they have launched satellites in the space, and they take it, means like amazingly, कि कैसे किसी ने ये सब किया होगा. But see, there are so many people behind all these things. It won't have happened in a single effort or some with some randomness. No, they had done lots of calculation, and then after applying so many physics, mathematics, and and everything, they have designed all these parameters. What should be the orientation, what should be the spin, what velocity we need to give to the satellites, and then orbit decay correction, cosmic radiation, heat dissipation, Earth satellite distance, so many other things, and they need to calculate, and they need to make it proper, and otherwise a little deviation can create a huge difference, and which we are expecting. So critical parameters we need to monitor, and when we launch artificial satellites, and so many people's and big supercomputers are needed to do that. But do we ever thought of like satellites, natural satellites like moon, and even think of the earth, and for launching earth, and if someone wants to launch earth satellite like earth, and which is having 6 × 10⁻21 metric tons weight, and the radius, the huge radius, and this much weight of satellite, and if you want to launch, and you need to fix it in a proper way, how much fuel it is required. So, unlimited fuel is required if they won't have made another arrangement like this, and a gravitational force or some extra electromagnetic fields as well. So someone who had designed this, designed all these things, should be a very, very, very intelligent person, and the mastermind which we are talking about. We can't think that all these things has been come by its chance only. No, that there is someone very intelligent mastermind who is doing all such things. So who is controlling all these things? Like the electromagnetic force, the gravitational force, and everything. And if there might be some changes, if you do some changes, many of the collapse might happen in the galaxy, and we can imagine well of the devastation. So who is doing all these minute calculations, and who is arranging all these gravitational and electromagnetic forces together? So who is controlling all these things? Do you think NASA is controlling? No, NASA is not controlling. So if traffic policeman controls the signal of traffic, who controls the traffic of revolving planets? This question we should think of. We should well think of all these questions. So whenever we see any kind of design, we think of the designer as well. So who is the mastermind behind all these designs, which we see from micro world to the macro world, from a sea to the arrangement of the planets, arrangement of the galaxy. So coming to the point E, energy. Energy, we have a huge source of energy, sun, and how much energy it emits. The sun emits energy in a second, which is equivalent to amount of energy consumed by human race throughout the human entire history. So this much energy sun has, but like in a second, this much energy sun is emitting. So how much huge energy it has? So do you think, Anna, that someone something random has come and that has supplied this much energy to the sun? No, we can't think of. If we think of energy, we definitely it indicates, it implies energetic as well, and that the one who has given that energy to that uh, given that energy to that particular thing. So we always think of the energetic as well. See, like you all are watching all these presentation with your PCs or with your laptops, but next moment and something happens, like from somewhere a stone comes and breaks your screen, and a laptop screen or PC screen. So what do you think of, do you think that stone has come by chance, or it has come by some randomness? No. And you start thinking of the one who has given that energy to that stone, है ना. यू स्टार्ट सर्चिंग, है ना. अगर किसी ने बाहर से बॉल मार के खिड़की का कांच तोड़ दिया है, तो ओनर बाहर जाके देखता है, उसको ये नहीं लगता कि हाँ बॉल कहीं से उड़ के आ गई होगी और क्या कहते हैं उसने फोड़ दिया होगा. ही स्टार्ट्स थिंकिंग, है ना. अगर उसको बॉल मिल गई तो वो देखता है कि बॉल को इतनी एनर्जी किसने दी होगी. तो व्हेनेवर वी थिंक ऑफ एनर्जी, so it implies energetic as well. So coming to another point, like the F, A, B, C, D, E, F, the last point. So F means flawless law. Look at the world around you. We all are observing day to day laws. Definitely we follow lots of law in our day to day life. So what we observe laws, like if you are going to the institutes, and so your college will be having some time, 9:30 a.m. So we know that someone has some committees there, and some management is there who is making the timetables and updating all these timetables. And we can't find, and we can't think, है ना, कि अच्छा ठीक है ये टाइम टेबल है ऐसा, तो कैसे आ गया होगा, ना किसी ने बना दिया, या ठीक है मेरे को तो फॉलो करना है ना. वी थिंक ऑफ, है ना, कि किसने बनाया होगा, ऐसा क्यों बनाया, ऐसा क्यों नहीं बनाया, है ना. So definitely whenever we saw any kind of law, we think of about lawmaker as well. Any kind of law, who has made these laws, regarding universities or schools, the principle of that. Like in US, you have to go right, and in India you have to go left in roads. So all these laws has been given by the governments of each country. And in cricket also there have been so many laws, and in periodic tables also the elements are arranged in a proper law, and nothing is arranged in a random way. So in our nature also, we study these laws of physics, and they have laws, and so we are studying those laws, but we are not creating those laws. And Newton has found the concept of gravitation, and he has discovered, but it was there. He hasn't invented it. He has just discovered. But who has given that gravitation law? And whenever we think of law, we think of lawmaker. We have seen from our previous slides. So who is mastermind behind all these laws? The laws of physics, laws of thermodynamics, laws of optics, and all these laws. Who is the mastermind behind all these laws? So from the micro world to the macro world, we see there are laws, which is following accuracy, very precisely, which is following all this accuracy, all these laws, from micro world to the macro world. So whenever we saw any kind of flawless laws, we always think of lawmaker. Okay, so definitely, we should think of the lawmaker as well. But another things which we can think of, someone may be very beautiful, someone is very ugly, someone is handsome, someone is not that handsome, someone is having is thinking is rich, someone is very poor, poverty is stricken, someone is very very intellectual, doctor and engineers. So who is deciding all these things? Who is deciding? Can you write down in the chat? Who is deciding? Anyone? Do you decide that you want to be ugly, or you want to be beautiful, you want to rich or handsome? Who is deciding? Can you write down in the chat box? Someone? Any idea and guesses? So when Devans is writing that human is deciding that okay, God, society, Divyan's society, human mind. So see, I don't think that human is deciding that you are going to be a beautiful or you are going to be ugly. You cannot decide. Something we decide, or something we don't decide. What we decide, what we choose, what we decide, we choose our education, है ना? किस कहाँ से पढ़ना है, क्या पढ़ना है, कॉमर्स पढ़ना है, इंजीनियरिंग पढ़ना है, क्या पढ़ना है, क्या नहीं पढ़ना है. What we decide our jobs, we decide our husband or wife, and our life partners. We decide which car we want to have, which car we want to own, and some other accessories and apartments. We decide, but what we don't choose, and what options we don't have, and to choose for. Like our parents, do we choose our parents? No, we can't choose our parents, है ना? अगर हमारे पास ऑप्शन होता पेरेंट्स चूज करने का, तो हम ऐसे ऑप्शन चूज थे ना कि बिल गेट्स, मुकेश अंबानी, है ना, कि पढ़ने लिखने की जरूरत ही नहीं होती है ना. समथिंग हमारे पास ऑलरेडी है ना, सो मेनी थिंग्स वी वुड बी हैविंग, है ना, इन विद अस. So we don't choose our parents, है ना. we don't choose our face cuts. How many of you think that you have chosen your face cuts? Write down your mention your names if you choose if you have chosen your face cuts. No, we don't choose, and otherwise we might change our face shapes as well, ऐसा होना चाहिए, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए, it looks good. Do you choose your intelligence as well? how intelligent one should be? कुछ लोग होते हैं वो एक बार पढ़ के ही चीजें उनके दिमाग में आ जाती है, याद हो जाता है. कुछ लोग they need to repeat it again and again and revise it again and again, and then only they remember all these things. So who choose and on what basis? Or is it by chance? All these things we need to understand, we need to know all these things. That is it random or something law is there, someone is governing all these things. And because we have seen that nothing has from the previous slides and from the previous discussions which we have found, है ना, कि कोई भी random नहीं है. Everything has been arranged in a proper manner, in a proper way, from the minute DNA structure or a single cell to the whole galaxy, है ना. So कुछ भी random नहीं है. Everything is arranged in a proper way, in a very particular way. So ये चीजें क्या random है? What we are not able to choose, what we are not able to select, is it also random? Is it, or what is the logic behind that? What is the reasoning behind that? So how then our birth, beauty, intelligence only can be a random events if all these things, there are so many things in our world which is following a particular law of physics, law of optics, law of thermodynamics, and they have following particular laws. So how can our birth, beauty, intelligence can be a random events? So what is the logic, reasoning behind all these things? So flawless laws indicates lawmakers. Then we have scientific observation. I will be going a bit faster because we are running out of time. So what scientists they have observed, what Albert Einstein says. He says there is a perfect brain behind all the natural physical laws, and he's talking about brain, that mastermind, as per his observation. What other says? So Nobel laureate physicist Erwin Schrödinger, and a Schrödinger equation you might have read, and what he says, I am very astonished that the scientific picture of the real world around me is very deficient. It gives a lot of factual information, puts all our experiences in a magnificently consistent order, but it is ghastly silent about all and sundry that is really nearer to our heart, that really matters us is It cannot tell us a word about red and blue, bitter and sweet, physical pain and physical delight. It knows nothing of beautiful and ugly, good or bad, God and eternity. And even a scientist is talking about the lacking of science, that it is not talking about all these things. Science sometimes pretends to answer question in these domains, and pretends to answer all these questions in a particular domains, in these domains, but the answer are very often so silly that we are not inclined to take them seriously. And we scientists, they try to explain all these things in a silly manner. So sometimes people they get convinced, or sometimes some people they don't accept as well. What Lord Kelvin says, he says, if you think strongly enough, you will be forced by science to believe in God. So there are so many scientists, and great scientists, even they also believe that there is someone who is controlling, there is someone who is creator, there is some God, and they believe in such idea. And it is not like that. If you believe in concept of God, if you believe and there is some a mastermind, or there is some superpower, so you would be coming from a very conservative background, or less intelligent. And even the great scientists, they believe that God is there. So the Newton is also there. He also believes in that. Max Born, even Ramanujan, so Heisenberg, so I'm running out of the time. So all these scientists, they believe and have spoken on something about the existence of the God. So now coming to the $2 million question. So I'll be asking this question from all of you. So be ready with your chat box. So write down the answer. The question is coming. What is the origin of the universe? Write down. Your option is A, Big Bang, B, Big Bang, C, intelligent design, and D, chance. Write down, write down, write down. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Big Bang, Big Bang, Big Bang. So many people just are talking about Big Bang, Big Bang, Big Bang. Some are saying the chance as well. Devan Soni is right, C. Okay. Kaushal is also right, C. Intelligent design, intelligent design. So do you want correct answer of this? What is the origin of the universe? Intelligent design. So those have chosen option C, they have got the correct answer. What is the purpose? What is the purpose behind this? Write down the answer of this question. A, eat, sleep, be merry. B, kabhi khushi kabhi gum. C, no purpose. And D, to understand God and science. So what do you think? D. Okay, so many people they're writing D. Any other answer? Okay, D, A. Bhupendra is writing A as well. C. Okay, so see, the correct answer is, are you ready to know the correct answer? Correct answer is D, to understand God and life. See, so many of you wrote a Big Bang Theory also. Have you seen any of the machine which has came by chance, has no purpose? Any kind of machine which you can even imagine of, है ना? अगर कोई imagine कर सकता है, can write down in the chat box, है ना? ऐसी कोई मशीन जो मतलब क्या कहते हैं, बिना किसी पर्पस के हो और आप अपने से आ गई हो. No one has created that, or it has came by chance. Any kind of machine came by chance and has no purpose? No, there is no machine, and someone would have invented it for a specific purpose. So nothing can no machine can be having these two aspects, that it came by chance or it has no purpose. So how can this world, how can this amazing this magnificent world came by chance and have no purpose as well? So definitely this world has a purpose, and we need to understand that as well, that what is the purpose behind that. Like when we talk about this Big Bang theory, so what it says, and in brief, what it says, according to the Big Bang theory, everything began from a point of infinite temperature, infinite density, infinitesimal size that is physically indescribable, mathematically unverifiable, and beyond all conceptions of space and time. So like, and like Schrodinger was showing, and sometimes we try to explain the question of all these domains, and we present it in a way that it seems so silly that some say this is the theory and which maximum of scientists they accept, but not all the scientists accept it. They deny also, because it has lots of assumptions and in itself, and that it is physically indescribable, mathematically unverifiable, beyond all conception of space and time, and it is talking about something we cannot even imagine of. So this is what Big Bang theory speaks about, and so it's not like that, and there is one we have seen, and that there is a need of some intelligent person, some intelligent designer, and who has designed all these aspects. So encyclopedia क्या बोलती है? Encyclopedia बोलता है it should be emphasized that no theory of the origin for solar system has yet won general acceptance. All involve highly improbable assumptions. And so there are so many assumptions even in this Big Bang theory. So how everyone can accept? No, everyone cannot accept. So this was our $2 million question. Now coming to the activity. So I have a wonderful activity. So I will bind up that activity in 2 minutes. So see, we have to make comparisons between, we talked about the mastermind or the someone who is governing all these things, and I'll be giving some options to you, and you have to use your mind, and you have to use your brain intelligence, and you have to write down some things, and in comparison to the universal, in comparison to our government, in universe, in our day-to-day life, in nature, how we see that particular aspect, how it has been covered in nature by the mastermind. So in national government, we have Home Ministry for maintaining law and order. We have Health Ministry. We have Ministry of Energy, Finance Ministry, Defense Ministry, Education Ministry. So what do you think? What implies Home Ministry in universal government? Write down in chat box what you can imagine of. Write down. I'm waiting for your responses. What implies? Okay, let me give you some hints, and let me start. And what home ministries, what home ministry talks about, if someone is doing something wrong, so he's giving punishment to that, and for that he has made police department or so many other things, and for maintaining law and order. If someone is doing something wrong, so he is going to punish that. Okay, so in universal government, how this thing has been arranged, so we have, like, if someone is doing illicit sex, and so he may get AIDS as well. If someone is smoking, so he may get a disease like cancer. If someone is drinking alcohol, so he may be having some liver problem. So in this way, the law and order has been maintained by the universal government. So can you think of about health ministry, how health ministry do in universal government? Health ministry means it is supplying the medicines for your body for diseases. How all these things happens in universal government? Yeah, Anuj Deshpande, food, nature as a health ministry, water. Anuj, water. Yeah, any other guesses? Health ministry in universal government. Okay, so I'm writing. Yeah, Ayurvedic herbs. So in nature, that mastermind has given us the Ayurvedic herbs. We won't be having the allopathic medicines, but we will be having Ayurvedic herbs for curing our disease, and for so that universal government has also made arrangement for the health ministry as well, to take care of our health. So can you write down about the Ministry of Energy, Electricity and Lightning? Yeah, who has written that answer? Shweta Singh, Sun. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, Sun. So many of you. So now you got the idea. Kushvardhan Chaurashia, है ना, moon. So yeah, sun and moon. So, and finance ministry. What finance ministry implies? Write down finance ministry. Any guesses, ideas? Come on. Anyone? Any guess? No. So what basically finance ministry means? Currency and wealth. Do we have currency or wealth in nature, or where we have? Any guesses? I'm giving you hints also. Okay. Minerals. Yeah. Congratulations, Kunal Shukla. Yeah, you got the right answer. From where we get gold, silver, all these Navaratna diamonds, from mines, universal government has given the mines, all these minerals, these are the wealth, which has been given to a universal, given by universal government to us. Then defense ministry. Any idea about the defense ministry? Protection from dangers, how universal government has made arrangements for to protect ourselves and to protect from dangers and atmosphere. Yeah, ozone layer. Yeah, trees. Yeah, trees also. Yeah, ozone layer. Nikitara. Yeah. So we have ozone and we have immunity also, and ozonosphere, immunity in body. So universal government has also made so many arrangements for our defense. And education ministry, for educating citizens. Can you give some examples, that what universal government do? Anything? Any idea? Nature, scriptures. Anush Deshpande is writing scriptures. Yeah, scriptures, Vedas, Bible, Quran. So all these things has been provided by the universal government and by that mastermind as well. From that we can understand about this world, about ourselves as well. So we are going to have discover yourself session. So these are basically the discover yourself session to discover ourselves in a right manner. So thank you. So this was our today's session, and in our upcoming session, like today, we discuss the mastermind behind all these mysterious universe from our views, from scientific views, and then we tries to find out that how this universal government is working, and in comparison to our national government as well. So in our further sessions, we will be having the most understanding, having further understanding about about that mastermind, about the world, and about yourself as well. And because the session name itself is the series itself is discover yourself, so we'll be having new dimensions to see the world around us, to see ourselves as well in our further upcoming sessions. So thank you for hearing so patiently. Now I would like to have one or two questions, and so if any one of you have any questions, so I can answer those questions. I'll try to answer. Anyone?
Yeah, so if anyone has question, they can just post it on the chat box related to today's DYS session.
I'm waiting. I hope आप लोगों को session अच्छा लगा, and it was quite interesting as well. I found it very interesting during my first year. Yeah, can raise hand also if you have. If you have doubt, you can raise hand. We'll unmute you as well if you have any question, or you can write down in chat box also if you want to ask anything. Pratish, you can announce also something if you want to announce, and we'll end up the sessions. And if in between we'll get some question in the chat box, and I'll be answering at the end. Otherwise, you can make announcement if you need to make. So thank you everyone. So
thank you so much, sir, for giving us such enlightenment. That was really interesting, right? And the KBC thing that you added was really interesting. Yes, so I just wanted to add a few information that there would be a quiz that will be posted on the WhatsApp group. Okay, all you have to do is actually just go to the quiz link, right? And okay, so I think there are some questions, so you can attend to those.
Yeah. First, may call the announcements, and if
Okay, so there would be a quiz that would be posted just after the end of the session. Okay, there would be a feedback form. You need to just fill up that form. Also, we would be posting the upcoming events information in that Inspire group only. Okay, so just stay tuned to that group. Okay, so I think you can take up some questions.
yeah. So, what questions you have found,
Uh,
Kaushalesh? What is the importance of
uh,
discovering ourselves? So if you can't understand that who you are and the nature around you, then you cannot be like, if you want to perform better and if you want to so self assessment, or you have to assess your capability. That is very much important, and to know yourself and to know the people, to know the world around you, if you want to be if you want to enhance your performance as well. So it's very much important, Hannah, to know the people around you, Hannah, to know the world around you, and to know yourself as well, Hannah, to know your capabilities, to know your strength, and to know from where all it is coming. So then only you can further work on how you can enhance it further. Okay. So this was Costless Sarma's question. What is the importance of discovering yourself? You will be feeling it more relevant in your further upcoming sessions, and that how it is relevant to discover yourself and discover this world around you and how it is important to you. Any other questions? Good, knowledgeable. Okay. Devans is asking, sir, may you explain 90-10 principle by Stephen Covey in the next session? So see, we'll be taking some these kind of theories as well, and these theory of probability, theory of this so many other theories, relativity theory, and how different theories which talks about this life and talks about this universe. So we'll be discussing all these theory and Darwin theory and other things, in our upcoming sessions as well. Okay, Devansh. Any other question you find, Pratyush?
Uh, so I just want to announce one thing, that the next session would be taken up by Shivam Tiwari sir, who is currently working in BEML, which is a PSU, right? It would be on 16th of this month, and the timing should be probably 7 p.m. Okay, so just stay tuned. Okay, and sir, I think the time is over, and we can,
Yeah. We'll be taking all these questions in our further sessions.
yeah. Okay, so thank you so much, Shivam Singh, sir.
Thank you, Pratyush, and thank you everyone for
And
hearing so patiently.
yes, so we had like good participation. So thank you so much. We are